Buzz now at 9 is Sesame Street ready to tackle the issue of gay marriage. The show does not shy away from tough topics. They've had an HIV Muppet. Now there's a petition going around asking Sesame Street to let Bert and Ernie get married. The petition says the kids' show can send a positive message to lesbian and gay youth and could possibly save some of their lives. That petition points towards the suicides of LGBT teens and says a Bert and Ernie marriage might help prevent some of those suicides. Now at 9, what do you think about this petition? Over 50 comments already on Facebook.
Let's get right to it. Sean Colby Ruth writes, why can't Bert and Ernie just be roommates? Kids could care less about their sexual orientation.
Katrina Simmons writes, since technically Bert and Ernie have been together for over 40 years, they are domestic partners. I think it'd be great.
Ginger Vogt says, I say, why not? They've been living in sin since the 70s. Make honest men of them.
Patrick Madison writes, I have nothing against same-sex marriage, but when I was growing up, watching Bert and Ernie, I always saw them as brothers.
Well, Jamie Vigilante Meyer writes, are you kidding me? I always thought they were brothers growing up. Why would anyone want to make them a couple? I have nothing wrong with same-sex couples, but why change a child show?
Socorro Martinez writes, they are supposed to be teaching children, not confusing them.
Candace Still says the show isn't about sexuality, so why start? The show is to teach kids basics for school and how to get along with people.
Kenneth Shaline writes, this is really going too far. Leave the boys alone. Is this a case of cyberbullying?
Anne Marie Honorado says so many people are uptight. I think it's a good idea. It teaches children acceptance. This is 2011. Children should be taught to understand gay marriage is a part of everyone's community.
Michaela Lee writes, love is love, and I believe the decision should lie in the hands of the producers and network only. This being said, the show would need to be prepared to answer some questions that parents in a large part of society won't want to explain to children.
Well, Clayton Massey writes, I am all about equal rights, but kids do not watch Sesame Street seeking character sexual orientation. This is an outrage. Bert and Ernie were my pals when I was younger. This is depressing.
So many of you have some really strong convictions.
Did we read Stephanie Nelson already? Stephanie Nelson writes, absolutely not. Please, people, some things need to be left alone.
Interesting. Amy writes, that is the biggest heck no. How wrong to make them gay. I never thought of them as a gay couple when I was a kid and still do not as an adult.
What about Lynn Satterley? Did we read hers?
I don't think so.
She writes, I remember the day Sesame Street first aired. Since then, they have followed the controversial topics of our society. Pregnancy before marriage was the first, I believe. Having Bert and Ernie marry would be just the bridge. The next topics as we adults face the debate on same-sex marriage.